So perhaps one of Jesus' most famous or well-known parables is the story of the prodigal son. Not sure why that's so. Maybe it's because the story just strikes a chord. It's sort of a real-life story, a real family, and it has a neat happy ending. In fact, it's a third in a series of 3 parables that Jesus tells, talking to the same group of people. And it seems this one is designed to really drive home a point about the nature of God and who this Heavenly Father is really like. The story starts off with a dad and his 2 sons. There's an older brother, and the younger brother approaches his dad and says, "Dad, I'd like you to give me my inheritance early. I don't want to wait till you die. I'd like you to just carve out my portion of the estate and give it to me now." And this is really a strange request in those times, especially for a young brother. The older brother, always the oldest son in that culture, was kind of the more favored one, the blessed son. And for the younger son to do this was certainly kind of an abomination to his father, an insult in a lot of respects. And while a request like that wouldn't have been totally unusual, it always would have been coupled with a desire by the son to maybe head off with some noble enterprise, to start a family, to get married, to start a new kind of life for himself in another place. But there's a sense with this son that he just wants his money and he's going to head off on some sort of wild adventure. What's remarkable about this to me is that the father doesn't try to talk sense into his son. He doesn't sit him down and try to understand what he's doing and maybe even show the erroneous ways of his son, but immediately just consents to do this, acknowledging that his son is a free-thinking adult and he can choose to do whatever it is that he wants. He can choose to make his own path. And so his father divvies up the estate, gives his son his money, and the son heads off. In the text, Jesus tells a story. He says that the son heads off to this faraway country, this faraway land. And you know, that's not an insignificant point, because the son here is not heading off to some other community that's similar to the community that he's in. No, he's going off to a different kind of land, a different kind of place. He's leaving behind not only his dad and his family, but his community, his village, his culture there that's very much wrapped up in Judaism and who God is as part of that community there. And he's really leaving that all behind. When Jesus says he heads off to a far-off country, he really means he is heading off to a completely different place, a place with women, with pagan worship that's not part of the Jewish culture, with pork, bacon. Maybe that was something he was looking forward to. But we get the sense that this son is really heading off for good.